Here are 5 reasons why you hate reading. Reason number 1, you are forced to read in high school. So even though there's great books like Macbeth, Of Mice and Men, To Kill a Mockingbird, Animal Farm, yes, those are great books, but because you were forced to read them in high school, you didn't feel any intrinsic motivation to finish reading that book, which gave you a negative perspective about reading. So now whenever you approach reading today out of high school, you're thinking of it as a chore, as an assignment, as a project that needs to be completed, which can be very annoying. When you approach reading as a way of learning something because you're interested in a subject or upgrading your knowledge, education, or wisdom in a certain particular field, or just simply reading out of leisure and pleasure, you'll be more likely to read. When I was in high school, I absolutely hated reading. When I was in university, I hated reading too. And if you're in university today, you're probably saying, oh, if I'm gonna read, I might as well read this textbook. No, that's not the mentality you should have, because reading that textbook is, again, the mentality of reading something for the sake of a chore or for the sake of being productive. Look at reading as something to learn for yourself, for your character, whatever your interests and values are. Read to learn, read to lead. Just read. Reason number 2, reading is so boring for you because you're constantly indulging in pleasures of everyday life, which results in a very, very poor attention span. Think about it like this: when you do things like scrolling on social media, eating impulsively, playing video games, watching things that you know you're not supposed to watch, or even watching this YouTube video. Yes, this video. This is an example of dopamine release because you're doing something that is releasing a neurotransmitter in your brain. When your brain is constantly stimulated by dopamine, you actually build a tolerance for pleasure. And when that happens, you lose the motivation and pleasure of doing normal things such as reading. I 100% guarantee you, if you were to lock yourself in a room for 24 hours with no electronics, no digital TVs, nothing that can stimulate you, and you only had one thing, which was a book, after 2-3 hours, you'd get so bored that you'd pick up that book and you'd find it pleasurable. Now, people don't understand how poor mental health leads to procrastination, but that's just the way it is. And I'll save that video for another day. But understand, if you can't read, it probably means you have poor mental health, and you should tackle that before you tackle reading. How you tackle mental health? Well, I'll probably have a video for you in the near future. Or you can watch my other videos on how you can find your inner peace through journaling, meditating, exercising, just building a routine for yourself that prioritizes your mental and physical health. Reason number 3, you're not reading the right books for you. There can be a book that is 10 out of 10, but if I'm not interested in it, I'm simply not going to be able to read it. It's just not my genre. It's not my cup of tea. And if that is the case, then just don't read it. If you read the first chapter and you don't like it, be honest with yourself. Do you not like it because it's a chore to read this right now? Or do you not like it because it's just not interesting at all for you to read? Here's how to pick the right book for you. Look at something that you're not good at and want to improve on, or something that you're interested in and want to learn more about. If you're interested in geography and history, then read geography and history books. If you want to improve on skateboarding or chess or whatever it is, then pick up a book on chess. If you don't like reading fiction, don't read fiction. Find a book that is right for you instead of wasting time on books that you think is right for you. Reason number 4, you're trying to do too much too soon. When people start reading, or they want to get in the habit of reading, they tell themselves, oh, I'm gonna read for 30 minutes, or I'm gonna read a chapter, I'm gonna read this many pages a day. Don't approach reading like that. You're not gonna be able to build a habit of reading like that. Just like going to the gym, you're not gonna be able to build a habit of going to the gym if you start 6 days a week lifting mad, dieting all of a sudden. You're gonna burn out. When you read a book, literally tell yourself, I'm gonna read 1 page a day. I know it sounds so minuscule, but reading 1 page a day is better than not reading at all. When you get in the habit of reading 1 page a day for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, time goes by, you're gonna find yourself just reading many pages some days without you realizing, because you're just interested and genuinely want to read. So think about that next time you wanna sprint through reading. Lastly, reason number 5, you lack reading skills. If it takes you long to read 1 page of a book because you cannot process the information as quick, then you may find it a very daunting task and not want to continue. How do you fix this? Simply by reading more. It's like being weak at the gym and not being able to lift the weight you want. You have to lift lighter in order to lift heavier, so maybe start with a short and sweet book, or start by reading articles or blogs, maybe just short stories. Start by reading something very small and build your way up to books. You don't have to start with a book right away. And there you have it. Those are 5 reasons why you hate reading. And I hope one of those reasons made you change your mind or your perspective about reading. And hopefully you can start picking up some type of reading material today and start your reading journey. Trust me, you won't regret it.